Hello, students. Welcome to our current affairs series. In this class, we will discuss about the important current affairs for today. So let's start our today's current affairs with our first day news, which is a defense international news. So recently, Israel Navy received second of new US built land crafting. The Israel Navy signed a MOU with US United States of America to build some land crafting. Now, Israel Navy received second of new US built landcraft. You can see here. The Israel Navy on June 16 received the second of two new landcraft from shipyard in the United States as the agreement was signed between Israel and USA. With the missile morning at the Haifa Naval Base after making a lengthy voyage in the country, the US built INS Komi Miyut was the Navy's second land crafting. So, what is the name of the second land crafting? This is Komi Miyut. After the INS Nehesons, as I told you, this is the second US built landing craft. And what was the first landing craft? It was Neheson, which was received in earlier October last year. So there is an agreement signed between Israel and US. USA will build some landing craft for Israel, and recently Israel received second landing craft, which is known as Komi Youth, and the first was received by October, which was known as Nehesh Hon. Next news is Chinese scientists discover new pattern of solar rotation. As we all know, recently discovered that solar is rotated in on axis and it is also revolving towards the Milky Way galaxy or inside the Milky Way galaxy. So recently, Chinese scientists had made a significant breakthrough in a solar research through the use of their solar exploration satellites. The satellite name is H Alpha Solar Explorer, known as CHASE. So CHASE is the name of the satellite through which the Chinese scientists discover new pattern of solar atmospheric rotation. So what is the name of the satellite? The satellite name is CHASE. CHASE refers to C refers to China, HA refers to Alpha, S refers to solar, or E refers to explore. Clear? Now let's move to our next news, which is related to the finance. So recently, RBI penalized Central Bank of India and Sonali Bank PLC for violation the RBI guidelines. So recently, RBI penalized approx 1.45 crore on Central Bank of India and Sonali Bank for breaching the guidelines related to the customer protection and KYC norms. So RBI has right. RBI can basically impose the fine to any commercial or any regional rural banks. Central Bank of India face a penalty of 1.545 crore for irregularities, including improper sanction of loan and delay in reversing unauthorized transaction. Meanwhile, Sonali Bank PLC has been fined approx 96.4 lakh for non-compliance with KYC direction in 2016. These penalties highlight RBI commitment to enforcing regulatory and statutory compliance in the banking sector. Clear? So RBI penalized Central Bank of India and Sonali Bank for the violation of RBI guidelines. Next is India to host its first multinational air exercise known as Tarang Shakti. The first time India will host the first multinational air exercise known as Tarang Shakti. The Tarang Shakti, it is a basically multinational exercise, and it is a air exercise. First time in August 2024, India will host this exercise. Okay, and the 10 countries will participate in this exercise. It is inspired by the Red Flag exercise hosted by USA. The Red Flag exercise hosted by USA is a type of multinational air exercise, same India in hosting Tarang Shakti exercise in August. And how many countries will participate? The 10 countries out of the world will participate. Next news is India participated in summit on peace in Ukraine. So recently, Shri Pawan Kumar, Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs, represent India at the summit on peace in the Ukraine, which was hosted by Switzerland and Birkenstock on June 15, 16, 2024. India also attended the opening and closing plenary session of the summit but did not ally itself with any communique or document that emerged. This highlights India's consistent and independent approach to achieving a peaceful resolution to the conflict through dialogue and diplomacy. Clear? So recently, India participated in the peace summit of Ukraine. Recently, according to the Mercer report, Mumbai retained to top spot as India's most expensive city for expat. Into 2024, according to the Mercer report, cost of living survey released on June 17 and Mumbai solidified position as India's most expensive city for expatriation, climbing to 136 global and 21st in Asia. So it is the most expensive city in India. In Asia, it is the 21st most expensive city, and in the world, Mumbai is the 136th most expensive city. Clear? Despite economical challenge, India remain resilient, offering affordability advantage for global talent requirement. The survey highlight various cost increase in housing and consumer good across major Indian cities, with Delhi experience the highest rise. Mumbai lead in transportation and personal care cost, while Kolkata emerge as the most economical for essentials. Globally, Hong Kong retained its status the priciest city of expat. Or among world, the global became the first most expensive city in the world. Next question is related to India's environment performance in 2024. Recently, India latest ranking in Environment Performance Index for 2024 plays at 176 ranking out of 180 countries, reflecting slight improvement from previous year but still positioning it among the world lowest performance. So India rank in environmental performance is 176 out of 180 country. The index prepared by Yale and Columbia University highlight India's struggle in crucial areas like air quality, biodiversity, and greenhouse gas emission. So India is 176th country out of 180 country. Next is ED Find a Home, Alia Bhatt Heartwarming Children's Book. So actress Alia Bhatt celebrate Father Day in a unique way by unveiling the first look of her debut children book known as ED Finds a Home. This book marks the beginning of a new series from the Idamama universe. So this is written by Alia Bhatt. Clear? Lee Zia Trump at BWF Australian Open 2024. So recently in a thrilling finish at the Badminton World Federation Australia Open 2024 in Sydney on Sunday 16 June, Lee Zia from Malaysia emerged victorious against Norokao Kodai of Japan. So in this event, Japan was defeated by the Malaysia player Lee Jingja and he securing his second title of the season. So previously, Lee Jingja also got the BWF Australian Open title and again he won the BWF Australian Open title and he defeated Naraoka Kodai of Japan. Next question is related to the day to promote international peace and security. International Day for Countering Hate Speech celebrated every year on 18th of June across around the world. This important day to aim raise awareness about the harmful effect of hate speech and promote strategic to identify, address and counter it and also it promote the international peace and security. Clear? So let's move to our next news. News is related to Sustainable Gastronomy Day 2024 observed on 18 June. So every year on 18 June, we observe Sustainable Gastronomy Day, a day dedicated to promoting sustainable practice in the world of gastronomy or the art and study of food and cuisines. Next question is related to the obituary. Murlilal Chandrakant Bhandare passed away. He belongs to the politics and he was the former Odisha governor. So recently, former Odisha governor Murlidhar Chandrakant Bhandare passed away at the age of 95 on 15th of June. So he belongs to which state? He belongs to the, and he was the former governor of Odisha. Chenab Bridge, Indian Railway conduct trial run on world highest steel arch rail bridge. So recently, there was a bridge which was conducted by the BRO over Chenab River, and it is the world highest steel archery rail bridge. The Indian Railway recently conducted a trial, and Indian Railway run a trail over this bridge. The Indian Railway completed a successful trial of an electric engine from Sangaldan to Reisi, crossing the world highest steel arch rail bridge on the Chenab River. Clear? Next is Indian refusal to sign Ukraine declaration as Suez Conference. Recently, Suez Conference was held in Switzerland, and recent summit on peace in Ukraine hosted by the Switzerland. The India opt not to sign the final commune alongside several other nations. The decision stemmed from Indian strategic relation with the Russia. So India don't want to disappoint Russia. That's why India did not sign over this peace accord, which was held in Swiss conference for Ukraine. Kriel? So generally, India do support Russia. So that's why India did not sign this accord. Next is PM Modi inaugurate new campus of Nalanda University in Bihar. As we all know, Nalanda University in Bihar was established during the time of Gupta dynasty, and Kumar Gupta was the founder of Nalanda University. Later, when Muslim invasion in attack in India, so Bakhtiyar Khilji destroyed or fired the Nalanda University. Nalanda University was one of the oldest university of the world and one of the most famous university for education. So recently, the second phase of Nalanda University was inaugurated by the PM Narendra Modi in Rajgir, Bihar. The PM asserted the Nalanda is a symbol of Indian academic heritage and proclamation of enduring nature of knowledge. Next question is related to the appointment and finance. Dhanlakshmi Bank appointed Ajit Kumar KK as MD CEO. So recently, Dhanlakshmi Bank appointed Ajit Kumar KK as a MD CEO for 3 years. So this question is related to the appointment and this is a direct question. Next is IFC investment in Brookfield Bikaner Solar Power Project. The International Financial Corporation. It is a basically a principal organ of World Bank. The major purpose of IFC to provide the loan for the private organization, as IFC work for profit. So IFC International Financial Organization, which was established in 1956, is a part of World Bank Group, has committed to give $105 million to Brookfield Bikaner solar power project in Rajasthan. This investment will be in form of non-convertible debenture supported the expansion of renewable energy infrastructure in India. So, Brookfield Bikaner solar power project in Rajasthan will take the loan from IFC. What is IFC? International Financial Corporation, a part of a World Bank or a organ of a World Bank which was established in 1956. Next is Virat Kohli reclaimed top sports and Indian most valuable celebrity brand. So according to the Celebrity Brand Valuable Report 2023 released by the global consulting firm Kroll. So this report is released by the Kroll, and according to the Kroll, cricketer Virat Kohli has reclaimed the top sport and Indian most valuable celebrity brand with a brand value of 227.9 million dollars. So this mark a 30% jump from his brand value of 176.9 millions in 2002. So in 2002, his brand value was 176.9 million, and now his brand value is 227.9 million. And he became the most valuable celebrity brand according to Kroll. Clear? So let's move to our next news. Okay, so next news is basically DGCA. What is DGCA? The Director General of Civil Aviation Circular on Gender Equality in the Civil Aviation Sector. Basically, recently DGCA issued an advisory to basically promote the gender equality and to increase the women representation in aviation sector up to 25% by the 2025. To promote gender equality, recently DGCA advised circulation on gender equality to increase, or basically the this gender equality in the aviation sector purpose is to aim and increase women representation in aviation sector at 25% by 2025. Here, according to the gender equality ranking, India is the third among worst country in the world. Recently, India in 2024, India ranked 169 in the gender equality gap index. So India is the third worst country, and the first is Pakistan, and second is Maldives. So it is very necessary to improve the gender equality gap in India. That's why Civil Aviation started this program to increase the women representation in aviation to 25%, and the target is set by 2025. Next news is related to the finance. Recently, Indian deposit in Swiss bank dropped by 70% to reach 4-year low of 9,771 crore. So recently, Swiss Bank or Switzerland Bank published a data. According to this data, the deposit of Indians in Swiss Bank dropped by 70%, reaching a 4-year low of 1.04 billion Swiss francs, means 9,771 crore. According to the Swiss National Bank, this marks a significant decline after a peak in 2021 and attribute to decrease in bond securities and other financial instrument. Clear? Okay. Next news is related to the world international news. Recently, Tajikistan government passed a bill in his parliament through which he banned aligned garments like hijab and other instruments. So on 19th June, the upper house of the Tajikistan parliament, known as Majlis Milli, so the like in India, the upper house is known as Rajya Sabha, and in Tajikistan, the upper house is known as Majlis Milli. So Majlis Milli, the bill was passed known as Aligned Garment Prohibition Bill, and the major target of this bill to ban the hijab and other traditional Islamic cloth. The bill was already passed by the lower chamber of the Tajikistan parliament, and in June 6, 19, it was passed by the upper chamber. Clear? So Tajikistan became the country who banned hijab and other aligned garments. Next question is related to the Indian festival, and what is this news says in this question is related to the Hemis festival. First, Hemis festival is a Buddhism festival, basically which is celebrated on the birth anniversary of Guru Padam Sambhava. Guru Padam Sambhava was a Tibetan monk who belongs to the Buddhism clan. So every year in Ladakh, in Hemis monastery, this festival is celebrated. So recently, Hemis festival, a vibrant celebration of traditional Buddhism. So it is a Buddhism festival take place annually in Ladakh as usually. It is the important cultural event will be held on 16 to 17th June known as the Hemis Teshu. The Hemis festival is known as Hemis Sechu and it is celebrated on the birth anniversary of Guru Padam Sambhava, who was a Tibetan Buddhist. This is generally a basically 2 day celebration. Bring the Hemis Monastery, Ladakh largest Buddhism monastery, to life with color, music, and spiritual energy. So Hemis festival related to the Ladakh, and it always celebrate. It is a 2 day festival which is celebrated on the birth anniversary of Guru Padam Sambhava, and it is celebrated in Hemis Fest monastery. Next question is related to the appointment. Recently, Manoj Jain appointed as the chairman and managing director of BEL, known as Bharat Electronic Limited. So, Bharat Electronic Limited recently appointed his chairman and managing director of Manoj Jain. Next question is related to the government news. Government appoint Atul Kumar Chaudhary as Secretary of Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. What is Telecom Regulatory Authority of India? Basically, TRAI. This is known as TRAI, TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. It is a statutory body and which regulate the telecommunication sector in the country. It was set up in order to have a suitable environment for the growth of telecommunication industry in India. The TRAI is a regulatory body of telecommunication, and recently government appointed Atul Kumar Chaudhary as a Secretary of Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. So on 20th June, the government of India appointed Atul Kumar Chaudhary as a new Secretary of Telecom Regulatory Authority, and he replaced V. Raghunathan. So before this, V. Raghunathan was the head of Telecom TRAI, and recently Atul Kumar Chaudhary has appointed as a Director General or Secretary of TRAI. Clear? Recently, pro tem speaker has been appointed, and who has been appointed as a pro tem speaker means deputy speaker or temporary speaker. The president appointed Bharatu Hari Mehtab as a pro tem means temporary speaker of the Lok Sabha. So, in significant development, Bharatu Hari Mehtaba, a 7-term Lok Sabha member, has been appointed as a pro tem speaker of lower house. The announcement was made by the Parliament Affair Minister Kiran Rijiju on June 20. So recently, 18th Lok Sabha election has been conducted, and pro tem speaker Bharatu Hari Mehtab has appointed by the President of India. Next question is related to Rear Admiral Nelson D'Souza take over a Commandant Military Institute of Technology, Pune. The institute, MIT, Military Institute of Technology, Pune, recently appointed his commandant Nelson D'Souza. So, Real Admiral Nelson D'Souza had take over a commandant of Military Institute of Technology, Pune, from Air Vice Marshal Vivek Bloria, an accomplished alumni of defense services, basically Staff College, Wellington, and D'Souza has served in numerous key positions within Indian Navy since his commission in March 1991. So he is appointed as the new commandant of MIT. Let's move to our next news, which is related to Karnataka Vikas Grameen Bank get National Award for Atal Pension Yojana implement. So first we have to understand what is Atal Pension Yojana. Atal Pension Yojana, which was also known as Sambhava Yojana, is a government-backed pension scheme in India. So Atal Pension Yojana, you can understand the name Atal Pension means it is a pension scheme which was started by central government, and when it was started, the scheme was started in 9th of May 2015. Basically, this scheme provide the pension for olders around 2000, 3000, 4000, or 5000 per month, given after when he or she completed the age of 60 years according to their subscription. Any person whose age is between 80 to 40 years can eligible or are eligible to basically to use the benefit of this Atal Pension Yojana, and he must or she must have a bank saving account. So recently, Karnataka Vikas Gramin Bank get national award to implementation Atal Pension Yojana. This is a bank basically where a regional rural bank is sponsored by Canara Bank. So Karnataka Vikas Gramin Bank is a type of RRB which is sponsored by Canara Bank, has been honored with a national award by the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority known as PFRDA for significant enrollment under Atal Pension Yojana. So we have discussed what is Atal Pension Yojana, and we also have discussed who got the national award for implementation of Atal Pension Yojana. You have to remember this: only 18 to 40 years person can use the benefit of this scheme, and the benefit can get according to their subscription after the age of 60 years, and it was started in 2015 9th of May. The next news is government monetized 1.56 lakh crore in financial year 2024 under national monetization pipeline. So the government monetized assets were 1.56 lakh crore under the national monetization pipeline known as NMP in the financial year for 2023-2024, and falling shortage of the target of 1.8 lakh crore. The target of government was 1.8 lakh crore, and government monetized 1.56 lakh crore under national monetization pipeline. India ranked third in global domestic airline market. So recently, India has achieved significant milestone in its domestic aviation sector over the past decade and emerged as the third largest market for domestic airline by April 2024. International Widow Day 2024. Every year on 23rd of June, International Widow Day is celebrated to raising awareness about the plight of widow worldwide and advocating for their rights and well-being. Next is United Nations Public Service Day 2024. On every year on 23rd of June, United Nations Public Service Day celebrate. This special day highlight the importance of public service, and it also recognize the hard work of public servant globally. World Hydrography Day 2024 to create the awareness related to the seas and the oceans. Every year on 21st of June, we do celebrate World Hydrography Day. And the theme for 2024 is hydrographic information enhancing safety, efficiency, and sustainability in marine. So these are the important current affairs we have discussed. I hope you like this session. Thank you.